last 3 exercises. So let's go to the easier one. Okay, that's the easier one. So y equals to 4 minus x squared. Okay, again, how we can distinguish whether that's a half circle or a square root function? So we have a square root with linear under that is a square root. If we have a square root and we have quadratic under that will become half circle. Okay, so that's how we distinguish between that. Okay, so that one obviously that's a half circle. So I really see a lot of mistakes, like people cannot distinguish between square root and half circles. Okay, I see year 12 students making those mistakes. So that's something really important. Okay, you need to know what type of equations are half circle, what type of equations are square root. So now we have y equals to square root 4 minus x squared. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make that back to a full circle equation and see where's the center and what is the radius. So the way I'm going to do this will be square both sides. When you square both sides, you have y equals to 4 minus x squared. And you move x squared and y squared to the same side and leave the constant on the other side. You have x squared plus y squared equals to 2, and perfectly that's a circle at center 0, 0 with radius of 2. But it's not a full circle. You just make it back to a full circle, but it's actually not. So what circle is this one? You have y to be the subject, it's either the top or the bottom one. But you have positive, so it must be the top circle. Okay, must be the top circle. So what we can do is, what makes you so happy? Okay, that can be a really good reason. Okay, so we have center at 0, 0. We need to label the center. We have radius of 2. But it's a top circle, so it's not going to have the bottom part. Okay. So you will label 0, 2, 2, 0, negative 2, 0. And you need to label the center as well, which is 0, 0. Okay, that's how we drew half circles. Okay, do not try to use the formula. I'm not introduced the formula at all at the beginning with like really complex formula, because you are not going to remember all the formulas. Okay, you must find a way which can apply to all the equations. You're not trying to say, okay, x minus h is the center, so we have x plus 2, so x minus 2 must be the center, and you see under the square root is really complex, so half circle equation. So my method is just always keep it back to the full circle equation. The full circle one is really easy to see, where's the center, where's the radius, and then there are 4 parts. Okay, top part, bottom part, left, right. What you need to do is just choose one of that from the equation. That's the only 2 things you need to do. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. X equals to 4 minus y square root of that. And okay, so that must be left or right because x is the subject. First is quadratic under the square root, so must be a half circle. Then x is the subject. If x is the subject, we have left or right half circles. And I see the square root is positive outside. That must be a right hand side semicircle. Okay, must be a right hand side semicircle. So where's the radius? What is the center? So I will square both sides. I have x squared equals to 4 minus y squared. If you square both sides, And then we have y squared plus x squared equals to 2 squared. And same, it's the same as the top one, but for this one we have right hand side semicircle. We have right hand side semicircle. Center will be 0, 0 again. Radius will be 2. Okay, and then have 3 points xy intercept. That point will be 2, 0. That point is 0, 2 and 0, negative 2. We have center at 0, 0. So that's my right hand side semicircle. Any questions? Okay, let's have a look at the next one. The next one looks more complex. That's why I said do not remember the formula. Like say if you have a formula like that, you'll never find out where is the x-intercept, where is the y-intercept, where is the center, what is the r, what's the radius. So it's so hard to see from here. I'll make it back to the original to the center radius form. So first of all is this under the square root is a quadratic, so must be a half circle. And second, x is the subject, so it must be a left hand side or right hand side semicircle. Okay, left or right. And I have negative sign in front of the square root. That must be a left hand side right semicircle. Okay, left hand side semicircle. Okay, make sense? Semicircle first, x to be the subject. You can only choose from left or right. And it's a negative square root, so must be left. Okay, so that's the step you think. So I'll write down here left hand side semicircle first. And I want to make it look like center radius form. So I'll plus the 2 on both sides because I'm not going to square directly on both sides. Okay, if you square both sides, you cannot get rid of the square root at this time. So I will plus the 2 first to the side. And you have whatever you have left here. And now I will start to square both sides. Okay, at this stage, I'm going to square both sides. Do not open any bracket. Okay, that's the only advice I give to you. Do not open any bracket because you need to complete the square if you open that. And that equals to, okay, minus square root times another minus square root, that's just become a plus. So the square root will become this. Okay, just get rid of the square root then. Okay, don't have the square root then. So let's move the whole square to the side. That equals to 7 squared. Okay, that's center radius form. Okay, that must be center radius form with center and negative 2 and 2. And with radius 7. So we have negative 2, which is the center. So here is the center. And then the radius is 7. So I will go up by 7 and go down by 7. go up by 7 and go down by 7. And it's left hand side semicircle. I don't need to go right. I only go to the left. Okay, go to the left by 7 units. Okay, that's the point. See, that's the graph. So I have the center at -2 and 2. Go up by 7 is -2, 9. Go down by 7 is -2, -5. Go left by 7 is -9 and 2. And I can see an x-intercept. I can see an x-intercept. So if you're looking for not good. No. Okay, so x-intercept is I don't really have y-intercept because I don't have this half of the circle. If I complete this half, there will be 2 y-intercept, but because we missed the right part, so there's no y-intercept for this half circle. So I only have 1 x-intercept. I missed the other x-intercept on the side as well. So I just need to work the left hand side x-intercept first. So I will make when y equals to 0. When y equals to 0, so it's x plus 2 squared plus 0 minus 2 squared equals to 49. Do not put the very original one, okay? Just use the full circle equation to solve for it. The whole circle equation is easy to deal with compared to the semicircle one. So I will have x plus 2 squared plus 4 equals to 49. And then I have x plus 2 squared equals to 45. And then x plus 2 equals to plus minus 3 root 5. Okay, plus minus 3 root 5. And x will equals to minus 2 plus minus 3 root 5. Okay, 45 is 5 times 9. So square root that will be 3 root 5. Okay, but I only have 1, which is the left hand side one, not the right hand side one. The -1, so -2 minus 3 root 5, comma 0. That's the intercept for this. Yep. Like the very top one? Yeah. Yep, you can do that. Yep, you can actually do that. So yeah, that's the same also. And maybe it's easier for this one to directly sub in because I'm looking for the x-intercept. But if I'm looking for the y-intercept, it will be easier to put in the whole full circle equation. Any other questions? Okay, if you have no question about this, can you just find some space anywhere? I'm showing you another question. I forgot to put this on the notes. Yep, find the equation for this half circle. Okay, work on this. I have this equation here, and I want to I have this half circle here, and I want to work for the equation for this half circle. Okay, work on this a minute. Okay, for any half circle, doesn't matter what type of half circle question you have, you always think about the full circle first, and then you make that back to half circles. Okay, you're not directly start from the half circle equation and try to put all the values in. Okay, that doesn't work. So try to think about the full circle equation and then put that back into half circles. Okay, so suppose that we have another half of the graph. And also find out the two y-intercept and one x-intercept from the system. Yeah, so that's all one obstacle, that and that obstacle. So you need to make what to be the subject. X to be the subject is the left or the right. Oh, yeah, X is the left or the right, so X to be the subject. So it's a left one, so it is X to be the subject. Then it's a left hand side, so it's a negative square root. So we take the negative side. Okay. I think you already have think about it, so I will directly start, not waiting here. So you will think about the full circles. Okay, what's the full circle equation? X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals to r squared. That's the full circle equation. Okay, so you have your radius h equals to 4 and k equals to 2. Then you have your x minus 4 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals to the radius. So from here to here is the radius. And here to here is the radius as well. So it's 5 units. So the radius is 5. So that equals to 5 squared. Okay, now you have left-hand side semicircle. Okay, left-hand side semicircle, you need to make x to be the subject. Okay, x needs to be the subject. If x is the subject, what I can do? I can do (25) subtract y minus 2 whole thing squared. Okay, the next step is important. I want to square root both sides, but when I square root both sides, that needs to have plus or minus. Okay, that gives you the half circle. Otherwise, you're not getting the left hand side. You only get the right hand side. Okay, you have the plus minus there. You want to square root both sides, you need to have plus minus. Then x equals to 4 plus minus square root of 25 subtract y minus 2 squared. Okay, because it's left hand side semicircle, so x will equals to 4 subtract 25 minus y minus 2 squared. Okay. Questions? No questions. Okay. Yeah. It's a minus because it's left. Yeah, it's on the left. Okay, and I want to work on the xy intercept. I want to work on the xy intercept. Shh. Why everyone's talking? I'm still talking here. Okay, so I'm looking for xy intercept. If I want to know the xy intercept, 1 point here, 1 point here. So 2 y intercept and have 1 x-intercept, which is the left-hand side x-intercept. So let's say I will still use the full circle equation. Maybe to find the x-intercept, I will make y to be the 0. Let's say change the color, change the green one. So when y equals to 0, I will directly substitute in the 1 half circle 1. So it's 4 subtract square root 25 minus negative 2 squared. So x equals to 4. I don't know if the back row can see it. So x equals to 4 minus square root 25 minus negative 2 squared. So x equals to 4 minus square root 25 minus 4. So x equals to 4 minus square root 21. So that's this intercept. So 4 minus square root 21, comma 0. Okay, you can put in a half circle equation, you only get the 1 result, or you can put in the full circle equation, find out 2 x values and choose one, choose the negative one. Okay, both ways acceptable. When x equals to 0, I'm looking for the y value. So when x equals to 0, the full circle equation may be more helpful. So it's x minus 4 plus y minus 2 squared equals to 25. So it's 0 minus 4 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals to 25. That's 16 plus y minus 2 squared equals to 25. Y minus 2 squared equals to 9. 25 minus 16 is 9. So y minus 2 will be plus minus 3. Okay, plus 3 or minus 3. So y minus 2 can be equals to plus 3, and y minus 2 can be equals to minus 3. Y can be 5, or y can be negative 1. Okay, y can be 5 or y can be negative 1. So every circle like questions will solve x, y intercept by the same way. Okay. So we have 5, 0, 5 and 0, negative 1. So 0, 5 and 0, negative 1. Any questions for this one? So this question will be not giving you the equation and use the graph to ask you for what kind of equations you will have. And you write out the full circle, suppose that's a full circle first, and write out the center radius form. And then we put that into half circle form. I'm not sure if my cast is working, but I want to show you one quick thing here. It's just slow. Okay, so let's go to the graph page. Okay, so go menu. If you want to sketch a circle, let's say, what's the problem to sketch a circle? The problem to sketch a circle is like, for this equation, you can only times y equals to something. You can't put y in, so you cannot have no space to put the y values in. So we can go another approach. Go menu number 3, graph and graph entries, and then we have entry equation templates, and then we have all of those graphs. And say we have circles here. We click on circle, and you can see in the circle we have two forms. We have center form and we have general form. The general form will be the question 2 we did, which is like we need to complete the square manually and find out the center. But if you just ask to sketch that, you can use the standard form to directly sketch on that. So let's say we have center form. I'll click on center form. That gives you the templates. Okay, that gives you the templates. And let's say we have x plus 2. We have x plus 2. So you have x minus. So you will put bracket minus 2 into that. And y minus 3. And equals to radius square. Let's say radius is 2. Let's do that. And press enter. You have your graph looks like this. Okay, so it's still possible to sketch circles in the calculator. Okay, you can have a try. Like, for example, it's asking you to find the intercept between a linear and a circle. A linear and a circle, so you can sketch the circle first, and then you sketch that linear, and then you work out the intercept by using this calculator. Okay, just some small things I want to talk. That's all for circles. Any other questions about this?